All right, I'm here with Charlie. I'm way over here, and I'm way over here because Charlie is reactive to people he doesn't know. In this video, I'm going to go over something I like to call click for looks, as well as counter conditioning and desensitization. I haven't done this with Charlie, so I don't know if I'm going to show you click for looks or counter conditioning and desensitization. Charlie is a Pekingese, and he's led a very luxurious life, let's just say. So he's had a lot of stuff done for him, and he hasn't had a lot of exposure around people that he doesn't, and things that he doesn't know. He likes to bark at things and lunge at things to make them go away. And he does that when he's insecure or things are around that he doesn't feel comfortable with. So for click for looks, what we're going to do is I'm going to be using a clicker, and I'm going to click every time Charlie looks at at his neighbor Liz, who's right there in the foreground. Liz is being nice, and she's just going to help us out. Now, when we're doing this, if you're going to be playing the part of Liz, I feel like a director, you want to try to avoid looking at the dog directly in the eye. And in this case, we're going to be so far away, Charlie's going to barely be able to see her. And what I'm going to do is when Charlie looks at her, I'm going to click when he looks at her. Then he's going to get a treat. And then I'm going to let him look at her again. And hopefully he does this without barking. Now, when you are doing this technique, the dog cannot freak out. If it's barking, if it's lunging, it's spazzing out, that means you are too close. So when I'm doing this, I also do this like with skateboards and things like that. I lower the intensity level by either increasing the distance, turning down the volume, or decreasing the speed. So if it's a skateboarder going this fast and the dog freaks out, I might have to go this fast. Or I might have it move further away, or do a combination of those. All right, so now because of this, I'm going to, I realize I got my mic in front, so you have to excuse me, it's not very Hollywood-like. There we go. So Charlie is he's really into the treats that I have, and so I'm just going to kind of be aloof, and I've got the clicker. Now, if you're going to do this, you need to first load the clicker. So now Charlie's more interested in me because we're so far away, so I'm going to move a little bit further away. That's a way of releasing anxiety. We like it when dogs do that sort of thing. Yeah. You're going to look at Liz? She's being very patient and helping us out on this Memorial Day weekend. It's like, no, that's my dad. Dogs are nearsighted, so now I'm going to have Liz move her arm. When he kind of looks in your direction, kind of wave your arm. I don't know if you saw that. There you go. Now, because we're going well, I can move a little bit closer, and I have a treat ready to go. There you go. So right there, that distance, he was aware of her. You saw he took a step towards her. Now, you're going to give your dog a lot of treats when you do this exercise, so you might want to feed them a little bit less. Now, you can see he's more interested in me than Liz. Normally, we would like to make sure the dog is not quite as aroused with the treat, but Charlie's a little bit of a special case. We want to give him every advantage. Hey. So that is an example. The treat might not be high enough value. Now, if the dog likes the treats normally, but stops taking the treats, that's an indication you're getting too close. We don't want to, what I call practice to failure. I don't want to keep on doing this until he freaks out. What I'm having him do is practice being around Liz while good things happen and nothing bad happens. There you go. And tails down could be a sign of relaxation. He has a curled tail. And he heard that little laugh from Liz, which is great. And levity is really helpful. All right, now sometimes, yeah, and that's the whole point. And now this is, I like to talk about this roller coaster. Now I had a client who's a nutritionist, because I used to say, sitting on a roller coaster, you don't do very much, but you probably burn 500 calories. He goes, no, that's nowhere near he goes, no. But it's a very intense experience. This is a very intense experience for him, but we look at this like, you're not really doing anything, you're just sitting there. But for him, this is intense. I'm not barking at somebody, and normally I would do that. It's not that he's physically restraining himself, but I've managed the situation by keeping him far enough away. Now he's growling a little bit because he's growling because his daddy is over there. So let's see if, there you go. You want to go over there, but that's near the scary Liz. Yep. And that's exactly the case, is you love your dog, you want to do everything for them, but if we do everything for them, then we kind of rob them of the confidence and the experience that they can have. So now I'm going to make this a little bit more difficult. I'm going to have Liz take one step to her left, my right. Wait for him to look at you, though. As soon as he looks in your direction, just take one step in that direction. Charlie. Now, right there, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but he closed his mouth. Closing the mouth and staring is an indicator. Most of the time, we think the dog's reactive when it's freaking out. Usually going from loose and wiggly and jiggly to still and staring with a closed mouth is a big indicator. So if you see that, that's when you know he's kind of getting closer to his line. Now, sitting and laying down is an indicator that he's comfortable because he's doing it on his own. Please don't ever ask a dog to sit or you can ask a dog to sit or lay down. I do that often as a test, but I only ask it once. If the dog won't sit, then I walk 5 feet away, ask for another sit one time. If it doesn't, 5 more feet away until I find the distance. Now, I want to make sure I don't also have tension on leash. You saw, now in this case, he wants to get to his dad, who is behind Liz, which actually is turning out to be causing kind of a good accidental response, but I normally be a little bit concerned about this. But I want to keep the tension off the leash, otherwise that tension can cause him to be more intense. You looked at Liz, you get a treat.
He wants
Yep. There you go. All right, Liz, I'm going to have you just, if you want to just walk to your mailbox and back, we'll see how he does. Now, this is what's called click for looks. Now, I can also do counter conditioning. So I'm going to have you just keep on walking back and forth. And all I'm doing is just delivering treats while something is happening. That's called counter conditioning. And I don't have enough treats yet. There we go. So this is like if somebody's rubbing your shoulders when you're having a bad day. It's just something to help you feel good and comfortable. And we're changing his emotional response. Instead of Liz moving, meaning something bad is happening, when Liz moves, I'm getting the delicious treats that I love. And I'm not marking, I'm not clicking for this, I'm just giving him the treats. But right now, earlier today, about an hour ago, they were getting groceries out, or Liz was getting groceries out right here, and Charlie was over here freaking out. Now she's walking around, pretty close. There you go.
I couldn't even hear what John was asking me.
Because he was so hysterical.
He was like, wait, what?
Yep. Now, in that case, if he does get hysterical, you just need to walk in behind the car or whatever. And you notice when we started, Charlie was behind the car. He couldn't see her. Now, right now, he's whining. He's a little bit curious. So what I'm going to have Liz do, I'm not going to have her get close enough because I just don't know if Charlie's going to be doing it, how he's going to do. So I want to make sure he doesn't, nothing bad happens. So I'm going to manage the situation. So if you just want to take one of those treats and just roll it towards him, toss it towards him. There you go. And go ahead and toss another one. Now that little dust up, he's a little pampered. Charlie. Now if I reach in there, I might get bit. So go ahead and toss another treat. Charlie's essentially saying, I'm waiting too long. All right, go ahead and toss another one. That's okay. Right here, Charlie. It's right here, buddy. You Pekingese nose dog. There you go. And the good, that's actually a really good thing. So if somebody like Liz is being nice and helping and she throws the treat and the dog can't find it, don't have the person, tell the person not to grab it and you can grab it yourself or give it back to Liz and she can do it again.
That's what I thought. I was like,
yeah, that's bad direction on me. Make sure you tell people that because otherwise that can create a bite. Now can you grab a seat right there on your stoop? If that's okay?
Do a what?
Can you sit down right on your, your number? Now for standing is more authoritative. Sitting is much more relaxed. So you saw he kind of relaxed himself. Now he still wants to go to his dad. So say his name and just when he's looking, toss a treat about right here.
Charlie.
So now when I come out and hang out with my buddy Liz, she rolls treats towards me. You can roll another one. So I'm not going to let him get all the way to Liz until he's met Liz and done this game a couple times. So if Liz is okay with doing it, or anybody else you want to do it, have them sit down, grab him, give him about like 6 or 10 treats. I'm using the tiny little ones because he's so little, but for this one it might be better to get the bigger ones and roll a couple treats. Look at that. He's laying down. She's right over here. He's not freaking out. Now, don't take this for granted. It means that we're buddies when you do this. We might have to do this 2 or 3 times. And then if you spot Liz out, hey, Liz, you want to walk to the end of the block with us? No, don't impose on Liz too much. She's a very nice lady. We don't want to, oh, here they come. They want me to walk the dog again. I'm not watching Charlie. But again, the more that he is around somebody, the more comfortable he is, just like me. He tried to bite me the first time he met him. This is the 3rd time I met him. And now I can actually, Charlie, yeah, buddy. Now I can pet him.
A few more. Do you want me to?
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll finish it up. Charlie.
Charlie, here you go.
Oh, one last little thing. So, Charlie, go ahead and toss one. I'm going to give you kind of a bigger one. And go ahead and deplete all the ones you got.
Yeah, it's sort of dragged.
There you go. Now I'm going to give you one more. And this one, when Charlie looks at you, I want to throw it a little bit over his head, but try to throw it so it kind of goes in front of him. But wait for him to look at you. So say Charlie and throw it a little bit behind him.
Charlie.
That's important. If he is just only expected to come closer and closer and closer, it gets harder and harder. And he's not able to take a breath. So every 2 or 3 treats, like I said in the video inside, is have the person throw the treat behind Charlie. So then Charlie walked away to get treats. He increased the distance. And then we can go back to doing this. Now, when I do this exercise, I do this for like a minute. 2 minutes would be maximum. This is, again, a lot of energy for Charlie. But if you do it right, then Charlie starts to develop a positive emotional response. So when he sees my buddy Liz, she's a good positive person. And eventually Liz will be able to pick him up. No, I'm not saying you have to pick him up. But I mean, this is the 3rd time I've met Charlie, and now I've engendered enough trust so I can pick him up and hold him. Well, this is my buddy Charlie, and these are some tips and tricks you can use if your dog likes to bite the neighbors or people it sees out and about.